Exactly 8 years ago this month, I stood in this very room and looked forward to a future in which the nations of this region would drive the forces of terrorism and extremism, drive them right out of existence, and take your place among the proudest, most prosperous, most successful nations anywhere in the world as leaders of a modern and rising Middle East. So exciting.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to this episode of Common Sense View. Yesterday, Donald Trump was in Saudi Arabia trying to broker both peace for the world and business for his people. One thing was obvious: while he was there trying to make peace, trying to get business that will help his country benefit and strive, and strive to their next goal, the opposition was back home in the country accusing him of bribery and corruption. And one other congressman was filing articles of impeachment against him. And you'll be asking, what a divided nation. And one funny thing is that while this was going on, I remember the first tenure of Donald Trump, when he was anywhere in the world doing something, they'll be airing at home the one hearing, one Russia hearing or another. But this time around, because there is no Russia stuff to air by the media, they practically have nothing to show. But I remember when Biden went for such tour, it was like step-by-step televising of every stuff. And you ask him, how could people be so malicious? I mean, the media, and I'm not talking specifically with reference to the media in US. It's like the established media all over the world have turned to become the same thing. No one will acknowledge that the effort this guy is making is not just beneficial to his country, but to the world. As an example, in his speech, he said he was there 8 years ago forecasting a future whereby terrorism will be replaced with sports and commerce will replace bombing. Isn't it what is going on? So, but the problem, well, just let's hear it in his own words.
Exactly 8 years ago this month, I stood in this very room and looked forward to a future in which the nations of this region would drive the forces of terrorism and extremism, drive them right out of existence, and take your place among the proudest, most prosperous, most successful nations anywhere in the world as leaders of a modern and rising Middle East. So exciting. So exciting.
The problem I have with this section of our existence, the media especially, and they're supposed to be the watchdog of the society. They're supposed to be there making sure that those who are given the task of watching over us are doing their work well. Unfortunately, they have taken sides, and they took sides so boldly that it's so shameful to let it just pass. These same people who were there cheerleading for Donald Trump, including the Democrats cheerleading for Biden, including the Democrats who vehemently rejected the proposition, the allegation that Hunter Biden and the family of Biden were enriching themselves by all the things they're making all over the world. They swore that it never happened. They swore that the Republicans have no facts to prove it. They swore that the statement he made in Ukraine that I want the president until he's fired the prosecutor, the $1 billion will not be released to them. And the son of you know what, he was fired. They ignored all of that. They saw it, but they ignored to mention it at any point. They have logic to support against, to stand against it. But these are the same people who are now saying Trump took bribe when he was negotiating for what will help them do their job well. It's obvious that Trump wants everyone to be unique. Love your country and do what is best for your country. His praises was that this time around, that the Middle East is building themselves up, not by the intervention of anyone. They are building Arabian miracle in the Arabian way, the Middle East miracle in the Middle East way.
And it's something only you could do. You achieved a modern miracle the Arabian way. True. But critics doubted that it was possible what you've done. But over the past 8 years, Saudi Arabia has proved the critics totally wrong. The transformation that has occurred even by these incredible business leaders. I mean, you had the biggest leaders in business anywhere in the world standing right before us. But the transformation that has occurred under the leadership of King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed has been truly extraordinary. Such a thing has, I don't think, ever happened before. I've never seen anything at that scale happen before. And I guess, maybe you could say the United States is doing pretty well too, but I don't think too many people have seen that happen before. Majestic skyscrapers, the towers that I see, the difference between now and 8 years ago. And 8 years ago was very impressive, but the towers that I see rising, some of the exhibits that I was shown by Mohammed, what I've seen there is just an amazing, it's an amazing process, amazing genius of so many people, architecture, but I have a feeling I know where many of those ideas came from. Happens to be sitting right in this room right before me, but the towers and all of the different, I've seen a lot of different towers. I didn't think there's any version of a tower that I haven't seen in one form or another. Well, I just passed 4 exhibits. I have never seen anything like any of them. So it's going to be very exciting. And they sit among the ancient wonders of a growing and exciting city. It's really amazing. Riyadh is becoming not just a seat of government, but a major business, cultural, and high-tech capital of the entire world. Have been unbelievably remarkable. Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombing each other out of existence. We don't want that. And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transformation has not come from Western interventionists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. It's really incredible what you've done. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly.
Does it mean that they exclude themselves from outside the world? No. But it means that they lead their people in the way they understand, not letting the elites and the holier-than-thou professors of the universities and the liberal world manipulators to come and tell them how to lead their people, only to plunge them into an unending war that benefits them and them alone. How long has there been war in that area? At this moment, the only person that had harsh word and yet only branch was Iran. He said, Iran will never get nuclear weapon. They have a chance now to come and make this so that they can turn their country into another flourishing country. Or they can choose the other path Meaning, I have no permanent enemy. It's all about making deals. What not to like?
Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Allies, I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy if we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive maximum pressure, drive Iranian oil exports to zero like I did before.
This is not the fascists we are told. If you bring 100 liberal women from all over the world and ask them what they think about Trump, you'll be lucky if one of them says anything positive. All they know is that he's evil. Grabbing women by their you know what? As if that is the only thing that defines success. And yet, even that statement, grabbing them by their genitals, they removed the aspect of it that said they let you do it. Because all that matters is consent. And I hate men who grab women without their consent. But he said, they let you do it. First of all, they throw themselves to you and they let you do it. So with that being said, the defense he gave wasn't that they let him do it or not. He said it was a locker room talk. But that has gone on for how many years now, despite every single thing he had done to foster what peaked the Abraham Accord, which is dreaming again that they will come together into that peace accord. You hear it?
Well spent. And with the historic Abraham Accords that we're so proud of, all the momentum was aimed at peace, and it aimed very successfully. It's been an amazing thing, the Abraham Accords, and it's my fervent hope, wish, and even my dream that Saudi Arabia, a place I have such respect for, especially over the last fairly short period of time, what you've been able to do, but we'll soon be joining the Abraham Accords. I think it'll be a tremendous tribute to your country, and it will be something that's really going to be very important for the future of the Middle East.
So the issue I'm having with the people who stand against the progress that is being made is not that they have no right to it, but they're offering no solution. A few days ago, the administration helped Pakistan and India settle the difference between them. You know,
just days ago, my administration successfully brokered a historic ceasefire to stop the escalating violence between India and Pakistan. And I used trade to a large extent to do it. I said, fellas, come on, let's make a deal. Let's do some trading. Let's not trade nuclear missiles. Let's trade the things that you make so beautifully. And they both have very powerful leaders, very strong leaders, good leaders, smart leaders. And it all stopped. I left office. The only thing still standing between this region and its unbelievable potential was a small group of rogue actors and violent thugs seeking constantly to drag the Middle East backward and into havoc, mayhem, and indeed into war. Our task is to unify against the few agents of chaos and terror that are left and that are holding hostage the dreams of millions and millions of great people. The biggest and most destructive of these forces is the regime in Iran, which has caused unthinkable suffering in Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Iraq, Yemen, and beyond. There could be no sharper contrast with the path you have pursued on the Arabian Peninsula than the disaster unfolding right across in the Gulf of Iran. Yet I'm here today not merely to condemn the past chaos of Iran's leaders, but to offer them a new path and a much better path toward a far better and more hopeful future. As I've shown repeatedly, I am willing to end past conflicts and forge new partnerships for a better and more stable world, even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran. I have never believed in having permanent enemies. I am different than a lot of people think. The time is right now for them to choose. Right now, we don't have a lot of time to wait. Things are happening at a very fast pace. They're happening right here. They're happening at a very fast pace. So they have to make their move right now, one way or the other. Make your move. As I said in my inaugural address, my greatest hope is to be a peacemaker and to be a unifier. I don't like war.
In essence, Trump also acknowledged the fact that the prince was helping in brokering peace between Russia and Ukraine. And for me, it's a magnanimous thing to do. Anyone who is not for peace has no place among us. And the West, especially the government in Brussels, have shown that they don't care about the people who are dying. You keep on sending money to Zelensky, who everything he understands is to be on a camel, and then send 17-year-old to go and die on daily basis. At this time, you're no more fighting for your country, you're fighting for your ego. The only fight your country needs now is for them to go home, treat their wounded. Those who are dying, have their loved ones hold them so that they die in peace. It's not worth it. And everyone knows that if there have been peace talk, as many times as there have been money talk, this war wouldn't have lasted this point. Because there would have been a way to sort out whatever the difference is. Even if it means using trade deal as a bribe. I use bribe very loosely, not a bribe. As an incentive. Even if it means bringing Russia into Europe as an incentive for them to stop the killing. On the contrary, their interest is just keep on giving money. Look at what is happening in Germany. The people rising up against the new government. When the government is not looking after its people, the worst is bound to happen. And it's obvious that the government of the current government of the West are not looking at the current situation. And I think Trump is. Imagine Syria. He wasn't in favor of anyone who was having a coup in Syria. He just let it be. But because of the discussion they have the government, they have the way they have it now. You cannot stand and condemn the people who had that military junta. You can't. Because Ibrahim Traore also did that and is helping his people. And he said, in order to help him to succeed, I lifted all the bans. So it's up to that man to succeed, or he'll be removed the same way he removed Assad. He has every reason to succeed. If his leadership will help his people, then why are you on the way? It doesn't mean that there will be no world order. There will be world order. But you have to put your own house in order before you look into other people's house. People can be oppressed for as long as they can handle it. But at some point, they are bound to resist. And the American people resisted by voting in Trump. Almost 1,400 counties against 400. They look at the number Camels have, 70-something million. But that was out of 400, not up to 500 counties. When Trump had 1,000-something counties, or more than that. What does it show? That far and wide the people welcome him. But these people clustered together here, are still in the same cocoon built for them by the liberal elites. When Vance was talking about cat ladies, a lot of people took so much anger towards it. But yet they understood what he meant. There are also cat men, not just women. And the feeling should be the same about it. So the point is that those who are in charge should be looking after their people. And that is what Trump is doing there. And if he is succeeding, not only America is succeeding, but the world is succeeding. Especially now he's touting reactivating the Abraham Accord. So, on another development, the lawyer or the judge who lets illegal immigrants use his private door to escape ICE has been indicted for federal crime. And this is actually disheartening. These are the people who say, no one is above the law. No one is above the law. These are the people blatantly breaking the law like you can do nothing about it. You know why? Because they believe you can do nothing about it. Because before now, nobody has done anything about it. They do whatever they want, but when the Republicans come in, they say, oh, no, we love the country. We don't want there to be catastrophe everywhere. But unfortunately for them, they have seen their match. When iron meets iron, that's the way it is. They are now being paid in their own coin. And no one will say that wasn't a crime. Yeah, she has not been convicted, but she's indicted. When those who are making the law are helping people to break it. It's unfortunate. It really is. So while we are on it, so please, if you have not subscribed, if you're coming in, if you're seeing myself for the first time, I don't think I'm doing anything so special. Just give me a like, reluctantly if it must be, and subscribe if you want to hear more, if you really like what you hear. So, hope to see you again. Take care, and never forget to love.